Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cheryl, and in today's video I wanted to share with you real quick about some of the ways that I've been gaining weight. Just a quick 30-second overview. I've been weightlifting for the last 3-4 months, and as I became more and more serious about it, I had to figure out exactly what some of these like rock star women are doing on Instagram or YouTube. And when I started following them and watching their channels, they would often post about what they ate in a day, and they would eat a butt ton and a lot of calories, and I was nowhere near that amount. And so therefore, in order to gain muscle, you have to eat, and you have to eat a lot. And so I didn't know any of that as I started my journey. And so I thought I'd make this video and kind of throw all my tips in there and kind of the ways that I've been eating and seeing a progress and seeing my body progress in a way that's okay for me mentally and physically. So if that sounds good to you, just keep watching. So the first thing, and probably the most important thing, was I had to be mentally and physically okay to gain weight. And it sounds funny, but as women, we judge ourselves so harshly, myself included, that you put on any sort of added weight, all of this negativity starts flowing in your mind. And that's not healthy. So every day I had to wake up and trust the process. I had to trust the program that I'm on right now, the weightlifting program that I'm on, the amount of food that I'm eating, and it's okay. I had to tell myself it's okay. As I see those numbers on the scale go up, I had to know that my body is getting stronger, my body is being nourished, my body is being fueled so that I can continue doing these intense workouts, and that as I progress through weights, I can keep increasing those weights, but my body needs energy, it needs the food. And so the only way to do that is to trust that process and to be mentally okay. And I feel like if I can just release that energy, which I did, just release that energy, fix my relationship with food, have food freedom, then now I can progress in my weights. And that was just the best thing for me. So hopefully, I know it's a crazy tip, but mentally prepare, and the rest of these tips will be like no brainer to you. Okay, so once I became mentally and physically okay to gain weight, the next thing was to figure out, well, how many calories do I need to eat? What are my macros? What are my proteins, fats, and carbs? How many of those do I need to consume on a daily basis in order to continue to gain muscle and gain weight? And so there's plenty of like apps out there. There's a few of them. I'll probably share another video later on, but you can just Google, what is basically you had to kind of Google, what is the calories that I need to live? Basically keep my heart pumping. And from there, you add about 500 calories and you watch your numbers on your scale and you watch how your body responds to that. So for example, my numbers was, I think, around 1300. So I add 500 to that. I'm up to 1800 calories that I need. I need 220 grams of carbs, 65 grams of fat, and 120 grams of protein on a daily basis. From there, as I weigh myself every single morning, I can physically see on the scale that the numbers were going up. But if the numbers stayed the same or went a little bit down, then I know I need to increase my calorie count. So if I was at 1800, I might need 1900, or maybe I need 2000. But it's a slow process for me. And gaining about half a pound to a pound a week was okay because it wasn't such a drastic change, but it's a change enough where I know that it's working. And as my weight progresses and as my intensity goes up, then I know that I'll probably need to eat more food. So now that I found out how many calories I needed to figure out how the hell am I going to consume 1800 calories in a day. Well, I had to increase my eating window, meaning I had to wake up early. Bummer. So I have to now wake up between 6 and 6:30 instead of like 7:30, 8 o'clock, whatever it might have been before, because I needed that long window. I go to bed at between 9 and 10, so I have 16 hours to consume 1800 calories. And that seems like a lot of time, but it's really not, especially when you're a mom of a toddler and running around and barely having any time to sit and eat a meal. No, I needed as much time as possible, so I needed a very large eating window. And I know it's not going to be forever. It's only until my body starts to be cool with the fact that I'm eating a lot more. So piggybacking off of the eating window, the next thing I had to do was figure out how many meals can I consume. And on average, most people say about 4, but that wasn't enough. I needed more. So I eat about 6 times a day. I took my calories, my 1800, I divided it by 6. I've divided all my macros by 6, and this is how much calories and macros I needed at each meal. And that was way better for me than being like, oh my God, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. How am I going to eat, 700 calories in one meal? This is crazy. No, you just spread your calories out over as many meals as you need. So if you need 10, you need 10. There's no number. 6 is just good for me. I have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then 3 snacks. The next thing too is I had to constantly be eating, regardless if I was hungry. So I needed to eat every 2 to 3 hours. And if you need a reminder, put that shit on your phone. Set a timer for every 2 to 3 hours that it will go off and be like, hey, it's time to eat. Hey, it's time to eat. If you're just like constantly on the go and you can't like think about food at that moment, at least you have a timer going off being like, hey, stop for a second, have a snack, have a meal, whatever you got to do. But regardless, if you're hungry, you need to eat food. We are on a bulking phase. And so myself, I was bad for that. I would have my breakfast and then maybe 4 or 5 hours later, I'd be like, you know what? I'm so full from that lettuce that I had 4 hours ago. I don't even think I should eat anymore. I'll just wait till dinner. I'll just skip a meal. I'll just keep skipping. Who does that? That's not healthy. You can't not eat 4 to 5 hours later, especially because I'm not on any sort of intermittent fasting. Like I need to start eating food constantly. I need to be nourishing my body constantly. My body has to feel like, oh my God, I'm not in a fight or flight mode. I need this food. I know that Cheryl's going to feed me every 2 to 3 hours. So I'm not going to have to store anything as added fat. So I had to be on this pattern, and now my metabolism is running so quickly that after 2 to 3 hours of not eating, I start getting that hunger sensation. Where before it was like maybe every 4 to 5 hours. Now it's literally every 2 to 3 because my body is so trained about eating, and I always have something to put. So literally, I am constantly eating all day, every day. And you know what? It's actually pretty fun. Which reminds me, need to keep eating, right? So if you're enjoying this video and you're finding these tips helpful, subscribing to my channel would mean the world to me. So anyways, let's continue on. I got 2 more left. Did you know that you can break your meals up into parts A and B? I didn't know that. I thought that when you made a breakfast, bacon, eggs, hash browns, whatever it is, you literally have to sit there and eat all of that until your plate is cleared. And so, mind blown, I found out that you can break your meals into parts A and B. This other lady that I watched, she had this big ass salad with all this chicken in there to get her micronutrients in. Beautiful. And then 30 minutes later, she went and ate a bagel. It was the greatest thing. I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know, because now I don't have to sit there and wrap anything in saran wrap and put it in the fridge and then pull it back out and reheat it. Or maybe I no longer desire to eat that meal anymore, or maybe it got soggy or whatever it might be. No, you just break it up. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So here I am, 6 o'clock in the morning, making my eggs. And then while I'm driving to daycare, I eat a bagel. And it's perfect. That counts as my meal 1. And I'm perfectly cool with it. Yes, it adds more cooking, but I feel that at least this way, I am ingesting all of the calories that I needed to. Here, I'm not wasting my time figuring out how many calories that I need and then throwing it in the trash because I couldn't finish it all. No, this way I know that I consumed it because I was able to eat it all. And maybe you're having a smoothie that's like this big. That's a lot to drink. So maybe you get to drink half of it, put it in the fridge, and drink the other half. I mean, why didn't I know about these things, Annoying. So my last and final way that I'm gaining weight, and again, it goes along with annoying, pretty much it's up there with like waking up early, is I had to start weighing my food. It sucks. Literally, day in and day out, putting a piece of food on the scale, weighing it, calculating the macros, Thankfully, again, there's apps for that, and I'll show you those later on. But yeah, every day I have to weigh my food because I got to make sure that I'm getting the right amount of macronutrients. I got to make sure I'm getting my 20 grams of protein and my 10 grams of fat and 30 plus grams of carbs at every meal. And in order to do that and do it accurately, you have to weigh it. And so it takes time away and it stinks. But until I get to the point where I can look at something and be like, you know what, that's probably about 4 ounces. Or you know what, that's probably about 30 grams. But I'm nowhere near that. I'm not an expert. I just started my fitness journey. And so I need these little baby steps and these little guidance. My husband, he cracks at me all the time. He's like, Cheryl, are you seriously weighing your ketchup? And I'm like, yeah, well, ketchup has 5 grams of carbs for every tablespoon, so I got to make sure I added in the 5 grams. And then he's like, and so you're going to weigh your butter that you're going to put on your toast. And I'm like, well, yeah, because it has 4 grams and I can only allowed to have this many in a day. So it's annoying. He shakes his head all the time, but whatever, this is my journey. I'm going to do me. So I'm probably going to do a follow-up of what I eat in a day so I can actually show you my macros and, give you some examples of what I've been consuming lately. And this way can keep you motivated and keep you coming back. So as always, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and drop some comments below what you thought or maybe give me some more ideas on how you're gaining weight. As always, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Later.